Widespread frosts are on the way. Hello, kia ora, I'm Philip Duncan, and thanks for joining us for our Wednesday weather update recorded on May the 8th. We've been talking about this big area of high pressure over Australia for over a week now, and finally it's starting to drift into the New Zealand area. But just before it does, a southerly coming into the country. The area in blue means it will be around freezing or below as we go in towards tonight. And the green means single-digit temperatures. So it'll be a little bit milder in the top of New Zealand. That's because the main southerly, which is about here on the map, won't reach the North Island until overnight tonight and across Thursday. That's when the temperatures drop for the North Island and frosts are more likely then. So this is the frost maps. We've got these on our new app and you can get it from our website as well. These are free to look at. The area in purple is where we see the frosts. So South Island inland areas for tonight and coastal areas are a bit more borderline. As we go into tomorrow, Thursday night, Friday morning, you'll notice that the purple goes further into the North Island, so that cold shifts upwards towards about Waikato, possibly even around parts of Auckland and Coromandel Peninsula. So that's how far north that frosty weather is going. And, you know, sometimes you can even get a little bit of ice on the tops of the vehicles in some sheltered parts of Northland, but that's not totally locked in. And over here on the eastern side, bit of a breeze still blowing through and some cloud potentially stopping frost there, but it's going to be cold everywhere across the country. These are the lowest temperatures on Thursday, and you can see, you know, -1, 0 up here, and 6 degrees in Auckland is more the airport. But there are many parts of rural Auckland that can be just the same as Hamilton. Before you complain that your town isn't mentioned on here, we're not like TV1 and 3. We're not doing every town's weather. We're just showing you a map of the temperatures at random points around the country. So if your town's not in it, just go to our website or app. It's got hourly temperatures for 10 days out, more than NEBA and Met Service, who your tax fund. So the complaints about the town not being on the map, Greymouth, Hokitika, you know, if it's 3 degrees in Westport, it's probably very similar in your area as well. Take a look at our website to lock that in. It just gives you a snapshot of what the temperatures are doing. And you can certainly see on Thursday, it's colder. So here we are on Thursday around about 1 p.m. The southeasterly wind between the low up here in the subtropics and the high down here over towards the Tasman Sea, Tasmania area, that makes a windy squash zone. So those southeasterlies blow on Thursday. That's the reason why Thursday morning is not frosty around the North Island and that colder airflow is spreading up. There might even be a light dusting of snow on the ranges, but it's dry for most other places. On Friday, still a bit windy through the North Island. So that's why the frosts are going to be mostly in sheltered areas. In the basins like Waikato, for example, and other areas where you just don't have that breeze. It only takes a slight breeze to get rid of a frost in New Zealand. So we might see frosts, so certainly the risk is there around the North Island and certainly through inland parts of the south. But another southerly change comes through here. The high that is, believe it or not, moving to New Zealand goes backwards again. It's about the third time it's done that in the last 8 or 9 days. And as it does that, as it goes backwards just a little bit, it encourages this little burst of showers back down around Southland and coastal Otago. Now, by the weekend, that's when the high again decides, no, wait, I am going to go to New Zealand. And so it starts to drift back towards us. That pushes the showers out over the Chatham Islands. They've got the cold change here. Most other parts of New Zealand are drier on Saturday, but the eastern coastal parts of the North Island and down around Invercargill to the Catlins, you might be a little bit cloudier, risk of a shower. As we go into Sunday, the high now finally starting to come into the New Zealand area. Frosts are again possible. Check our website to see your temperatures across the next few days. And then we go into next week, and finally, after waiting for a week and a half, if not longer, the high from south of Australia centers itself over the north of New Zealand. And that means it is colder at night, fairly calm during the day, and there might just be a few showers and cloudy areas, especially along the western side of the country. And then our final map for next week shows 3 areas of high pressure, but there are 2 points of interest I want to show you. First of all, the high over Australia is actually over Australia. For the last 4 or 5 months, almost all of the highs have been south of Australia. So that's normal to see them lifting upwards, further northwards. And so while that's not good news for these areas like Victoria that wants the rain, it's not all bad news either, because on the outer edges of these highs, you can get wet weather coming through. So that means for New Zealand, potentially a return to the westerly winds of autumn as we go through the final stretches of the month of May. And then the second feature, this area of low pressure trying to form in the Tasman Sea. Again, if there's a break here between the highs, that low can drop down and deepen. If the highs stay connected, the low stays weaker to the north. So there are a few moving parts as we go into next week's weather, but the big high pressure zone, this is it right here, that's been over the southern parts of Australia for several days, if not 2 weeks, will finally next week make it over the top of New Zealand. That is all from me. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow, Thursday, with our next update and our next Australia-only 7-day forecast. We'll see you on Thursday.